Well, hello and welcome to a Cigar Professor with a difference, because you can see the lag in the Cigar Professor on the screen behind us. We're about to come on the screen behind us and say hello and welcome to the Cigar Professor. Thankfully, the sound is turned off, though.
And I'm on the screen with you.
You're on the screen with me.
I don't have to wait for you to bring me in.
No, that's right. And I don't get to abuse you before bringing you in. I have to actually abuse you
to my face.
Well, with the risk of you punching me in the shoulder. And I'm a keyboard warrior. I don't have the guts. But we can abuse Omar because Omar's not here.
That's right.
So
maybe this will be the first show he misses.
Well, I mean, we can hope.
We can hope.
We live in hope.
It depends on how much his missus has got him under the thumb.
Well, yes, he misses because of his missus. But I will say that Omar is here in spirit, as evidenced by what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Here. We, out of respect for Omar, paying homage to Omar, and the fact that he might actually miss this show, we have to be the ones that have the pre-show cigar.
That's right.
What are we having?
We are having the Rocky Patel Vintage 1999 Connecticut. Now, we've had Rocky Patel Connecticut's in Robusto size in the past, and this is basically just a little Purito size version of the same thing, basically along the lines of the Perdomo Puritos that we've had in the past.
Rocky Patel, definitely a friend of the show. We do like him around here. And I will say, for what looks like a very, very mild Connecticut wrapper, it actually packs a bit of punch on the flavor profile.
It definitely does. And it's got a decent burn time. I mean, we've been at this for just over half an hour.
Look, we got the timing slightly wrong. We were supposed to be like right down to the nub. And I will admit that it must be just because we're both such fantastic cigar smokers. Like, our technique is just outstanding.
We know how to bleed a cigar for every single ounce.
Well, like every single millimeter is another $10 in tax.
I know.
So it's like, we're Australians. We have to do this.
Yeah.
So we are in Albury's newest cigar venue.
Yes.
It's brand new. I believe, in fact, we are the first time that a gathering of this nature has happened in this brand new cigar venue. It's also an underground casino.
Yep.
We actually are currently set up on the poker table. Hopefully we don't burn a hole in this very expensive felt that is on this beautiful table. And if any police would like to know where this illegal cigar and gambling den is, just hit me up later. You've got my phone number. You all know me. And I'll be happy to drop you in return for some favors elsewhere.
Very good.
So this is the Cigar Professor's third live herf.
It is.
First one was in Melbourne, Oceans 12. Spectacular views, amazing atmosphere, looking down the Yarra River, from its best angle, which is as far away as possible.
Correct.
Up near the flames from the Crown Casino flames that come out.
Couldn't quite get close enough to light the cigars.
But boy, did you try! They had to call the fire brigade to get you down from where you'd climbed out to. I was look, credit where it's due. I was very impressed. Second cigar herf, we had to go to the butthole of Australia, Sydney. And some middle of nowhere. I mean, look, you guys didn't even really try. Let's be honest.
Look, it was a friendly, accommodating pub that gave us exclusive access to the upstairs.
That's true. I shouldn't insult it because the venue was fantastic. It was more the company that was the problem up in Sydney.
And actually, it was Aaron, one of our fellow brothers of the Leaf, that helped us organise that. He convinced us that would be the best place.
And I will tell you, that was a great night.
It was.
We had a big crowd, bigger than what we had in Melbourne.
Yep.
We had a big crowd, great atmosphere, sitting on the balcony, doing the show, enjoying cigars. And
so you might call it the butthole, but it definitely drew the crowd.
Well, there's a lot of jokes available, and none of them are appropriate for YouTube. We will get done. We will get censored. So I'm going to move along. This time, we're in Albury. We kind of split the difference. Sort of, if you're going to be at a major town between Sydney and Melbourne, it's either Canberra or Albury, and obviously we're not going to Canberra. No. Although maybe we should. We can find where the silo is that's full of our tax money.
Well, I do wonder whether we might be able to get tax exempt status on these if we somehow incorporate them into a smoking ceremony.
Oh, I like the way you think.
So
can we just make cigar smoking part of Indigenous culture? I mean, it's like they kind of just decided that welcome to country ceremonies were going to have been part of the culture for 50,000 years.
Well, you're friends
that a couple of decades ago.
Mr. Mundine. We could ask him to connect us up.
Ask him to verify for us that cigar smoking has been a part of Indigenous culture for 50,000 years, and I reckon you might be onto something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
but as much as a great cigar this is, it's not the cigar we're smoking tonight on the show.
Well, it's not, but I kind of like, isn't it rude to Omar? I mean, we're doing this in his honor. We're having a pre-show cigar in Omar's honor. because RIP Omar, obviously he's missing his first show ever. And we're heartbroken, as you can tell.
Yeah,
we're
totally.
deeply upset
Shattered.
about that.
Totally
that we don't have him. I did notice actually that you've chosen a cigar that kind of matches Omar's skin tone.
Yes, that's right.
I just thought that was a really nice
and
touch.
did you notice the rainbow colors on there as well?
Oh, you'd think about these things
I know.
so deeply. I'm
know.
so impressed.
I know. And it's got a little bit of like foil, glitz, twinkle, sparkle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because that's him. That's him
totally.
through and through. Dark
Absolutely.
skinned, gay on the inside, and with lots of glitz and sparkle.
That's right.
I think you've really. Oh, really?
Hey, boys.
Oh. Hey, how are
Something's
you?
growing on his head.
Yeah?
Have you been... Explain yourself, old man. What is that on your head?
That's Boss of the Plains, the original Stetson. That was the first hat ever built in the world.
All I heard was I'm deeply insecure and I'm trying way too hard. Is that what you heard?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's
Oh, well, I actually wasn't even sure whether that was Omar or whether it might have been one of those illegal immigrants that crossed the border into Texas.
Yeah, one of the Mexicans. Yeah. So, Omar, you are unfortunately not able to join us for this live herf, and doubly unfortunately, you have now joined us virtually. Explain yourself, old man. What could possibly be more important than coming here with us?
I had to leave my wife at a holiday house, grabbed my son, jumped in the car, told him that was an emergency. What do you want me to do? I swear, I promise, I left my wife.
Well, on that bombshell, we should probably move on to today's cigar.
Yeah, that's going to be much more interesting.
Yeah. So today's cigar, Damo?
It is the CAO BX3. And if you look very closely, I don't even know if the camera is going to pick this up, there is a QR code on this cigar band. So if you've got a smartphone and you scan that QR code, it will take you to their website and tell you all about this wonderful cigar.
Contact tracing has gone way too far.
It has.
They're putting QR codes on cigars now?
Yes.
Far out.
Yes. It won't be, well, look, I think this is part of the whole taxation thing. Like they're actually you're going to have to scan your cigars in to smoke them, and so they can find out whether you're actually getting...
Damn you, Klaus Schwab. I blame Klaus Schwab.
But BX3 actually stands for Brazilian times 3.
Well, one hurts enough.
I know.
Who wants to get 3 of them?
Look, they went for the outside, the inside, and the...
Oh, no, stop. Stop. Gosh.
So...
This is why I normally have him muted. I can't mute him when he's in the room with me.
So I'm going to read this so I don't get these mixed up. So CAO have done some other Brazilian cigars in the past. They did the CAO Brasilia, and they also done the Amazon Basin, which is a cigar that sells out ridiculously quick. I've tried for the last 2 years to get hold of the Amazon Basin for the Professor Pack, but
unfortunately, the Brazilian people using it, the Amazon Basin?
Well, I just wanted to see it go up in smoke.
It would... Okay, well played. It should be very expensive to transport, that's all.
That's right. But anyway, so playing on from the success of those 2 particular cigars, CAO decided, well, let's go from just using 1 or 2 Brazilian leaves in a cigar to actually going to 3. So we actually have a Brazilian Matafina wrapper, and then it has a Brazilian... Now, I'm going to absolutely butcher this name. Arapicara leaf as the binder. And then it also has more of the Brazilian Matafina in the filler, but as well as that, it has got Nicaraguan, Honduran, and Mexican premium tobaccos in the filler as well. So this is a multicultural spicy Brazilian.
Well, I was just going to say, it sounds a lot like the American Olympic team, actually, just full of South Americans.
That's right.
That crossed the border.
That's right. Correct.
I will say, it looks glorious.
Oh, I got a bit of a snug draw on mine.
Oh, do you? My draw's perfect. You gave me the good one by accident.
I did.
Yeah.
You swapped them on me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Thought so.
Yeah, I know you too
I'm
well.
just going to do a second cut. Hopefully get a... That's better. Second cut's opened it up quite a bit.
So, how long has this been going on now? This is pack 16, I believe.
It's going on a
month
while.
2 of pack 16.
So what? We're at 4.5 years almost.
Something like that. And yet we're still finding new cigars we haven't smoked before. This is beautiful. What a lovely, lovely light up. How are you going, Omar? What are you getting?
I had a bit like Damo. It's slightly snug. But,
Really?
Yeah, slightly snug. It's not overly snug, but it's slightly snug. But
did you give it a second sniff?
I tried, but I didn't want to do too much. Let's see how we go a bit later. I think
you treated it as circumcision, do you?
Leaves and the way the cigar actually looks, the light up doesn't necessarily sort of adds up to that. It's much sweeter than I anticipated. It much milder, much lighter. It's almost like dry fruitiness to it. It's got nuances of dry fruitiness, quite profound.
The foot smoke as well really brings out that dried fruit. It's like a raisin in the foot smoke.
Yep, raisin. Yep.
There's also a bit of a cacao nib note in there as well. So you know how you get some of the cacao nibs that have got a little bit of that sort of fruity, sort of sour tang to it, which you'd be familiar with, Omar?
I think what you're trying to say, let me help you articulate it a bit better. You're talking about the nibs that were stolen by a monkey. A monkey ran the forest, and after the forest got shot. And after the monkey got shot, the guy who acquired it died, and his wife sold it in the supermarket. That's it.
No, it wasn't those ones. It was the ones next to those ones.
Oh, they're not the same one.
Yeah, they were next to them. They got the flavor while I was sitting on the shelf, but I know what you mean.
That's quite a smooth light up.
This is actually really light. Really light.
Very
For
light.
the color and the texture on it, I was expecting it to kind of hit me in the face from the get-go, but this is lovely.
Absolutely lovely.
So this rainbow band on this, is that kind of meant to be reminiscent of like Carnival or something? Is that trying to pick up on
Brazilian culture, Brazilian vibrancy, celebration, that sort of thing.
I like the metallic in the actual CAO BX3 logo on it. I don't know if that'll convey on camera, but there's a lovely, kind of the shiny reflectivity of that. That's nice.
When they rolled a cigar a year before, the CEO had a meeting in the board of directors, and they said, at some point, some human will smoke it in Victoria, and to fulfill that Victorian LGBTQXYZ, they said, let's do something. And sure enough, that's it.
Well, I get what you're going for, but none of us are in Victoria.
Yeah.
So that's a swing and a miss.
That heart is there.
Your heart swing and a miss, man. Swing and a miss. Just take the L, Omar. Take the L.
The fact that you're still crying about it, it means you feel it.
Well, look, when I moved to New South Wales, I made sure I was close to the border and on a hill so I could look across to the Shadowlands, look across the river to Victoria. You know that scene out of The Lion King?
Yes.
When they're there and like the dad, whatever his name is saying to Simba, one day everything where the sun touches will be yours. And he says, what about that Shadowlands? And his dad says, that's Victoria. We don't go there. You know, that's how I feel these days.
How's the trip so far, Dames?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Found out our interesting change in legislation in this state meant that the hotel that I deliberately stayed in so that I would have a restaurant on site to be able to get my meals at was shut yesterday because it was a public holiday. And not only that, all the supermarkets were shut as well. So
you were fasting yesterday?
Well, thanks to Stu, who came up and bought. I rang him before he left home, and he threw in a bucket load of meat. And me and Stu met up, and we had meat with a bit of meat and some meat on the side, and we topped it off with a bit of meat as well.
So normally this would be my cue to lay into Mr. Stu and deliver a couple of scathing insults, but he's actually in the room with me. And so out of concern for my own safety, I'm just going to smoke my cigar.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
I know, right? Miracles do happen.
And it was all lamb mostly too, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, there was a bit of pork in there, but and dinner tonight was just amazing as well. It was lamb with lamb and a bit of lamb.
Yeah, but hang on. So there was Mediterranean lamb with Middle Eastern lamb with slow cooked lamb ribs.
That's right. And we did Middle Eastern lamb in honor of Omar, but he just did us the dishonor and didn't show up.
He still didn't show up. I rubbed the crap out of where's this sentence going? No, I rubbed the crap out of every lamp I could find, and he just wouldn't pop out as a genie or anything.
No. So
Question.
things you miss out on.
Yeah. So supposedly, didn't he supposed to cook you a breakfast today or something? Is it tomorrow?
No, that's tomorrow. If you get your ass in the car and drive through the night, you too can have poached eggs for breakfast tomorrow on salmon, on bagels. I didn't buy the bagels.
Well,
maybe on bagels.
Look, I did some favors for Stu and traded a morning cigar for some breakfast this morning.
At least it wasn't a morning wood.
Well, that's right. And got some bacon and eggs this morning for breakfast. So,
gosh, you are living a life of luxury.
I know.
You're not going to want to go home.
No.
Stop treating him so well. We might be able to get rid of him.
That's a good idea. Something to think
about. All right,
about.
gentlemen, back to the cigar. It remains really light. For me, that dried fruit has dissipated somewhat. The sweetness is reduced. It's still sweet, but it's reduced, and that really kind of intense sugar of the dried fruit is gone.
I've still got a little bit of a draw issue on mine. That's the nature of the beast with cigars. You always come across one with that. I'm finding I'm having to triple puff to get a bit of smoke out of mine. But
so I realized why you. No, he's not you, Omar. I realized why you gave me
it's a user error.
Turned out to be the good one. This one looks like it's got a nicked wrapper, and you went, "I'll give that to Topher because that one's gonna suck ass." That's why you accidentally gave me the wrong one,
right?
You know?
There you go, got another ring.
Oh, this is a magnificent cigar. It's filled with rings. Flavor is remarkably light but sweet. Construction is perfect. I don't know what you two are whinging about.
Look, the flavor's maybe even a little bit on the I'd call it almost a little bit of a juicy flavor. Like I'm actually finding, like you know how some cigars you get and you get a dry mouth. I'm actually finding this one's giving me like a
chewy,
yeah, a little triggering the salivary glands to drool over it. So,
you sure that's not just sitting next to me?
Well, I don't know. It's been so long.
Yeah. Look, I've noticed this as well, Dan. I think this is a very astute comment here. That Omar talks a big game about his meatballs, but where is he? Where are they? I mean, I delivered.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I delivered on my spit roast lamb that I promised. All right. Stu delivered on his. Well, look, I'm going to go halfway with Stu because he promised freshly shot deer. Right. And I was expecting he was going to bring a harnessed deer to behind the property and just shoot it right there in front of us. It had to be fresh.
Yep.
But I was willing to settle for it being shot the night before. He shot a ram instead.
I know.
Not sure whose ram it was, but I think if he just sort of cuts it up quickly and nicks off, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah.
I did hear it was down by Bourbon.
Yeah. I think someone wrote a song about that.
I know.
But one day, Omar, you're going to have to make good on your meatball bragging. One day.
The guy sitting next to you has tried it several times.
I don't know if I can accept third-party claims. I want to verify. Trust but verify.
Once, actually.
Once or twice? I think you had it twice.
Once. Just once.
Sure?
Down at Shelley Beach.
I think the second time he was already full from Nick Perdomo's meatballs, and so he didn't have yours.
Which ones were better?
Yes, well, I'm back in the Perdomo army again. So
I'll tell you what, your love life is more dramatic than Days of Our Lives. I mean, you are just back and forward. Madness.
He tells me he loved my balls the most, but who knows?
Listen, I think he just takes what he can get.
Mm-hmm. Don't argue when it's free.
Yes, Mr. Sue. Yes.
Yeah, Stu's about right. He's about right.
Do we want to tell everyone who's here with us tonight?
Do we have to acknowledge that they exist?
Not if you don't want to.
Yeah, nah. It's just the two of us.
That's it.
I think there's a song about that too. Just the two of us, you and I. Now, okay.
Don't make Omar jealous.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, speaking of, this is exactly what I was about to do, is make Omar jealous.
Oh, go for it then.
Because you have this habit of showing up with a bag of goodies, and you delivered again.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about what have you treated us with here, Damo? And are they different, or are my eyes? They're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There, I have gone, and I thought, well, chocolate always goes well, so I have bought some European chocolate brandy liqueurs, cherry brandy liqueurs. So I thought, you know what, and see, it's from the romantic Rhine. So
oh wow, yeah.
I
you
thought
really
set the mood right, the smoke,
chocolate
the lighting.
brandy. I mean, look, you could have worn some perfume.
I did.
Wow.
You?
Well, I mean, I can smell something. I love the fact.
See, if it had been Omar here, he would have already commented on that.
No, sorry.
Mind you, it is Omar's favourite I'm wearing.
All right. David Lionhelm's jumping in with the big questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Question is whether he prefers the right ball, the left ball, or something in between.
Actually, both.
I wonder why.
As many as I can get.
I wonder why Nick Perdomo called you a big mouth. I didn't think it was because you were talking.
That's bad.
Took you a second there, Omar. Bit of a delayed reaction.
Nah, I think you guys. Dan's internet sucks. Dan's internet's a bit slow.
Is it? Are you sure it's just not your processing power? And I'm not talking about your computer.
If someone's listening, you can ask him.
As if anyone's watching our show. It's literally just the three of us, mate. What are we drinking? Well, I tell you, courtesy of Tim, I got to say, I mean, the bloke's a suck up, but he knows how to suck up. He got me Dr. Pepper, and I am loving it, and it's actually pairing really well. That fruity overtone of this cigar actually goes really well with the cherry and Dr. Pepper. I got to say, the guy knocked it out of the park today. Yeah.
Well, I've got a blood orange soda.
Again, fruit.
Yep, it's going quite well.
Yeah.
Pairing quite nicely.
It's tropical coconut water. With a bit of tropical fruits.
I just love the fact that a cigar show, cigars being synonymous with whiskey and alcohol, in Australia, Australians being synonymous with drinking beer and smashing alcohol, is hosted by three blokes who, for how many shows in a row now, have not had any alcohol with us.
Look, it just proves that cigars suit everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Even people who are, what Mr. Stu said?
Quite possibly.
He's referring to you. He's actually looking right at you.
Internal reflection there, I think, by Mr. Stu.
Quite possibly.
He might be coming out with that.
There's a lot of internal things that go on with Mr. Stu.
Boys, back to the cigar.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned a little while ago that the fruitiness has died down a little bit.
Sure.
A touch. What's quite interesting is this is a very, very smooth cigar.
Amazing.
I like what it looks. It's an extremely smooth cigar.
Yeah.
Very smooth indeed.
Now,
I have been aging these for quite a while, though.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay, tell us more about that. How long?
I purchased these. Would have been either January last year or December the year before.
Right. Okay. So 18 months nearly.
Yep.
Yeah. Thereabouts.
18 months, almost.
It's smoking like a beautifully mature cigar. This burn is amazing.
I'm having a little bit of issues, but
what? And with the cigar?
Yes.
Okay. Now mine is perfect. Clearly, your issues are user error, but I will say, I am having a little bit trying to come off at the foot there, so at the mouth there. So I'm going to take the risk of trying to tear it off rather than trying to stick it back down. Please don't make me regret this.
Damn, how about Cigar Man Sam? We haven't seen him in a while. He's been dissing us.
Yeah, he's been dissing us, but here he is. Here he is.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
You know what they say, they always come crawling back.
Yes. He's been missing, man. He's been missing.
Yeah, look, Sam stood me up on a few occasions of recent.
Sam.
I think it was only because I was hanging out with Omar, though.
Well, that would explain it.
Yeah. He just didn't want to see Omar.
Yeah. No, he's probably also just doesn't want to get mixed up in your very, very weird love life, like just bouncing around. He's like, he just doesn't want to be the fifth wheel.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, between balls and things in between. And
between Nick Perdomo and I don't know, I've forgotten their names. I can't even remember the names of them.
Sakas and Omar.
No, I'm trying to remember the people, not what he does to them.
There's a coffee note in there as well, like just a very mild, gentle coffee note.
That is devastating.
Wow.
Wow.
We can't all be perfect.
Look, I already felt insecure about the fact that I can't grow a beard like you guys, and now it turns out I can't even hold my ash.
Nah. Yeah. You're lesser of a man or whatever you are.
I think Cigar Man Sam. I think it's more of a love dodecahedron. It's much more complicated than a triangle.
I was thinking the Pentagon, but you just completely liked. Oh man.
Yeah. Sorry about your poker table there. I hope the illegal casino is making enough money to replace it. I just burnt the felt.
That's okay.
You win some, you lose some.
Well, apparently he loses some. You know.
That's right. Well, he couldn't stay on his winning streak, could he?
No.
House can't always win.
Well, what could be more of a win than having the Cigar Professor host a show from your illegal casino?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And Brandon.
All right, boys.
He can boast to all the people. Topher sat
I know,
here
that's right. And burnt my table. Yeah, that's right.
Then for fuck's sake, it's a cigar show. Stop it.
All right, this is high praise coming from Tim. Tim is a huge cloud hopper man. Some would say he's off with the clouds.
Which is a really good cigar too.
It's a great cigar.
It is a really.
Yeah, the man's got good taste, at least in cigars, not in friends, but in cigars.
Look,
sorry.
Cigars are a personal thing, right? Taste is personal, but I would say this: I love the cloud hopper. It's one, I absolutely love it. But I think the smoothness in this cigar and complexity with it, there's a slight lingering complexity that comes on and off a different. That's exceptional. That's absolutely James. It's actually exceptional.
Yeah,
I wouldn't diss the cloud hopper, but the complexity in that is unbelievable. It's very mild, but yet complex.
What I'm finding with that complexity too is I'm almost getting the occasional hint of that. It's not that Cuban tang, but that sort of a little bit of a citrusy tang in there as well. I don't know whether it's just the fact that I'm having a citrus-based drink, but it's
spot on. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely. There's a lingering Cubanness. I wouldn't even call the word Cubanness, but there's a tang. It's a very pleasant tang. And it's not like empowering kind of tang. It kind of just run parallel. It's not strong. It's not like overwhelming. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think it's just came off that dry fruitiness and turns a lot more into tang.
It also just doesn't demand your attention.
Yes.
When you give it your attention, there's a lot there to think about, to taste, to explore, but it doesn't actually demand it. You could be doing some woodwork in the wood shop or winning money at an illegal poker game and just have this on the side and it'd be fine.
Yep.
I would never question Topher's appropriation, his deliberation, but if you're referring to Damo under the table with Perdomo and having this cigar, is that what you're trying to say?
Look, what happens
in
Perdomo's office
in that.
stays in Nick Perdomo's office. Okay?
Yes.
That was the first rule that he told me was I can't tell Damo that I'm there as well.
Oh, okay. That's fair call.
Yeah.
Fair call.
Mind you, Topher did want me under the table with him here tonight, so there you go.
Well, look, you refuse to drink, so I got to find some other way to convince you to get under the table.
Yeah, rightly so. Man's got to do what man's got to do.
Well, I'm going to change the subject back to the cigar. At this one, not mine. I find this actually really almost conflicting because my previous favorite Maduro has been the Flathead 554. That's
Yes.
been I think that's a wonderful, wonderful Maduro.
It's even better when you put like 10 years of age on it.
I can imagine. I think I've had one that you'd aged for a good 4 years or so, but I haven't.
I've still
had
got some of
old.
that same batch.
Have you?
I do.
Oh gosh,
5 left.
Because that would be 4 years ago that
And
that I had that.
and like I mean, you can see the wrappers on these have got a bit of a tinge to them. The wrappers on those are almost going brown.
But this is going to be a contender to trump the 554 for me, and I feel really conflicted about
this is a much more smooth, well-rounded cigar compared to that 554. I feel.
But I liked the punch of that, and that's what I liked in a Maduro. So I feel conflicted that I'm loving this Maduro for its smoothness. I'm kind of like, but that's not what Maduro is meant to be about. But this is so good.
It's so smooth. I don't know how a cigar smoker who has been smoking cigars a little bit can say no to this. There's absolutely no way anyone.
We could ask our canary. Our cigar canary.
Well, actually, you know what? Our cigar canary is on the show tonight. So, David Lionhelm, let us know how you're going. I'm definitely at the end of the first third. I've been to the second third. I'm smoking. Smoking a bit quicker than you at the moment. How are you going? And let us know what you're getting in terms of nicotine hit here. I have no idea.
Probably a bit hard for us to judge. We're like onto our multiple cigar today. So,
look, I've had a slow day. This is only my fourth.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is my third.
Yeah.
We thought we'd try and keep up with Omar.
Well, I tell you what, the man has stamina. I'll give him that.
How many hours did you drive back today?
2.5.
So that was like at least 3 cigars.
And I only had one because it was way too much going on. My son was with me. He asked me a question, when are we going to go pick up Mom? I said, look, the maths is not adding up. It might be tomorrow. We just work it out later. It was very intense.
Well, your dedication to this show is noted.
Second to none.
Second to none. Certainly not second to me. I've missed however many shows. Why remains an open question. But you are dedicated to the show. So well done you. Here you are again.
It's all the bribery I give him cigars.
It probably is. Yeah. It's
a lot of bribe going on in the background. It's a lot of bribe.
I'd probably show up more often if you bribed me,
Oh, that's a bit like cute, Topher. You gotta get in under the desk or something, man. Just do something, bro.
Listen, I've got a button that can take you off the screen. You behave yourself.
Actually, I can see why that. See, I've got a vein right where it's been burning.
Show them, don't show me.
Oh, it's a bit hard to see, but you can see that vein just sticking up there.
Yeah. So, question is, does it look like mine, Nick Perdomo's, or Steve Saka's?
Asking the big questions, Omar. Well, actually, sorry, the more medium short questions, but
Yeah. While he just grabs it and shoves it in his mouth.
And refuses to answer.
Yes, that's it.
So David is giving us his review. So I started a little bit later, but so far, very nice, mild, slightly sweet, great construction. Are you still talking about the cigar or no? No nicotine yet, but there's still a lot to smoke. Oh, well, good news. You're also enjoying yours, David?
Yeah, well, look, when I got these cigars originally, you'll actually be pleased to know it's one I didn't quality assess on a regular basis.
Oh. Well, that's why there's still some left.
That's right. Yeah. That's why there was enough left for the pack.
Yeah.
All those other cigars that never made it to packs because there wasn't any cigars left.
This one's really good. This is going to be amazing for the pack the next day. I better double check.
Yeah. I better check with Omar.
Yeah.
Get some other opinions. And then it's like, we've only got 2 left. Oh, well, I better just use them myself.
And we have 4 subscribers, so 2's just not enough.
Yeah. So I thought, I think we better sit on those. It was a bit like those Ave Marias. I got them at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just really felt as though, you know what, we'll just sit on these, let them age a little bit. And I think everyone who subscribes would definitely appreciate that.
This is fantastic. I mean, you've found us a lot of good cigars over the years, but this is an absolute winner.
It's a treat. As we say, it's a crack off a cigar.
Now, Omar, do you owe Cigar Man Sam any money? He's trying to determine your whereabouts at the moment. So if I were you, I wouldn't sleep too deeply tonight.
I'm actually you've been into my lounge. I'm at home right now. I just
Oh, nice.
I'm at home, so I'm actually home. I drove all the way through.
So there you go, Sam. He's at home.
There you go. Go and
As
collect.
long as you know where that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go get him.
Go and collect. This is the midpoint of pack 16.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably should start to talk about pack 17. And based on the tax bills that we've been paying recently, you're pretty well stocked. So you've probably got the problem of too many choices to narrow down to a single pack.
Well, remember how I said there's a all Perdomo pack coming up?
Yes.
I am contemplating whether we do that for the next pack.
Why not?
I have got a few choices up my sleeve of what we can do, but I was thinking of paying homage to Uncle Nick again.
Oh,
And also, look, on the 5th of May, Perdomo are releasing a new line of cigars called Legacy.
Okay.
And as you know, we did the ESVs a while back, and they've discontinued the ESVs, which I'm absolutely devastated about. That was my favorite in their whole.
That was. So I don't mean to make you jealous, Omar, but Damo gave me a good ESVing the first time we met, and we really bonded over that, and we've been inseparable ever since.
Yep. That's how I wooed him.
We had a few.
I want him for life.
Yeah. That coffee you served me off the tailgate of your car, I was like, this is going to be the worst coffee I've ever had.
I gave you a full 7-inch, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and I got all of it down to the last. I was, it burned by the end. Down to the
nub.
It burned by the end. But that coffee you served me off the tailgate of your car, I'm meeting this random dude in the car park of a shooting range, and I pull up and he's making coffee on his tailgate. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. It turned out to be a really good coffee.
Yeah.
And the 7 inches wasn't bad either.
But anyway, so the interesting thing about these legacy cigars that it's actually Nick's son, Nick Perdomo III.
Okay.
That's actually developed these in.
Are they going to run out of them at some point? Pardon? Are they going to run out of Nick Perdomos at some point? Like they've already gone through 3 of them.
Well, look,
to lose one, that's just a misfortune. To lose a second one, it sounds like carelessness.
Well, I don't know. There might be the 4th coming yet. I don't know.
Well, the 4th coming. Wow. Well, I mean, Jesus said to Lazarus, come 4th, and then he tripped over and came 5th. So I don't know.
Yes, but anyway, so the interesting thing about this new cigar that's being released on the 5th of May is that it is from Finca Natalie, which is the same plantation that the Perdomo family were growing the tobacco on for the ESV cigars.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that there is at least some homage and some nuances of the ESVs in this new range when it becomes available. But unfortunately, what they generally do with cigars now is they release it through their premium brick and mortars for about 6 months first. And then once it's well established there, then it'll become available to all the other.
Okay, that's really frustrating for us as Australians where we can't get to their brick and mortars. But as a business model for actually ensuring the longevity of brick and mortar cigar stores in America, which is obviously the market they care about most, I actually think that's a really awesome thing that the industry does on a relatively regular basis. Give those brick and mortar places a reason for people to walk in, buy from them, sit down, because in America, of course, they can smoke inside the stores. I actually like that. Gives me a lot of hope for the future of the cigar smoking kind of culture. That there's a good reason for people to go in there.
And there's also a limited range of exclusive Perdomo cigars that are strictly reserved for brick and mortars with a smoking lounge.
Oh, really?
So if you're one of the Perdomo preferred partners,
dealers,
you actually can stock some of these other cigars that are exclusive to brick and mortars with lounges in America.
And do they publish on their website or something where we can find them?
You just got to walk in and discover them there. They don't sell them online. They don't.
No, but I mean, like, can I find out in advance which places have it? So, because I'm going to go back to America, hopefully, like this year, early next year. I
can make some inquiries for you.
All right, you'll have You sure your mouth won't be full? You can ask questions.
Look, I'll do my best.
All right,
I'll mumble my way through.
You can multitask.
Yeah, I'll sign language.
I'm sure there's other places you can. No, I don't want to think about it.
And I've just
there goes the felt again. Oh well. This table was not long for the world, was it? Gosh.
Not really.
So half of the smoke that you can now see rising through the screen is just the felt going up in smoke.
That's it.
Pretty soon the mahogany is going to start burning as well, and I don't know, probably us with it.
Yeah.
This will be the last Cigar Professor show
from this location.
I don't know if we don't go out soon. It'll just be the last one.
Sam will do it. Don't worry.
It might actually be a good show. We can't allow that.
Well, you know, the one thing I've just noticed. Normally, when the ash drops, you get a few minutes of the flavors become a little bit more brash, a little bit more bold and peppery. Hasn't done that.
You know, I didn't even think about it at the time, but when my ash dropped, which was much earlier in the stick, same thing.
Yeah,
just remained super smooth all the way through.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what it is giving me also hints of is the Magnuto vintage. You remember the one with the stainless steel band?
Yeah.
Give me vibes of that as well, because that was very smooth as well.
The Maduro one.
Yeah.
I
Probably not
agree.
quite as flavoursome and complex, but it's definitely that smooth mellowness there. And
darker cigar.
I really enjoyed the Macanudo in the Connecticut that had the band on it, because there were two that had the stainless steel bands, were they not? If my memory serves me.
The Maduro and the Connecticut.
Yeah. I love the Connecticut, but I did find that every third or fourth stick, probably due to humidity changes, the band was too tight on it.
Yep.
And I had a lot of torn wrappers and things like that from those cigars, which was frustrating because they're a great cigar. Now, I would pick this over that Maduro. I would pick this over that.
Yeah, same. I think that has something to do with the metal ring. The variation in the wrappers, I think that's got impacted by the metal ring.
Well, it's meant to like help it stay in its shape, but you know, sometimes it can be too tight and cause problems.
And it was just exceptionally different branding exercise as well.
Hats off to them for trying something different, but
I mean, those rings would have cost a bloody fortune to get made.
Here we go. For those that don't know what we're talking about, there are cigars that actually come. I won't say what else this could be used for, but you'd have to be pretty small. But if you are, then happy days. All right. Just have an angle grinder handy so you can get it off afterwards.
I can do one better. I've got the.
Oh, this is for the after party. Hello. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That's pretty cool.
That's the presentation. Yeah, you cannot, as a piece of presentation, you cannot fault that. And like the insert inside the box is molded around the metal ring and everything. Like, it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of presentation. But in practice, I fell out of love with it pretty quickly. I had too many problems. Really, Stuart, our joke's not dirty enough for you? Am I not pretty enough? Is my heart too broken?
Be nice to Tim, man.
Do I have to?
Had the chocolate go with it.
Really good. I also discovered that it has actual like real rum in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not like liqueur flavoring like an American chocolate would have. This is actually like the European real deal.
That's where I got them.
Yeah.
Not from Europe.
Yeah.
Not the Australian.
So don't eat a box and go driving is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're probably going to get in trouble if you do that.
But that's a new use for cigars. So once you finish drinking, you smoke a cigar, and that's your time frame to when the alcohol levels drop down enough to go for a drive.
I can see that working as long as you haven't drunk too much. Yeah, I can see that working.
So then we could actually sell the government on these are actually beneficial then.
That's right. They're a timing device. We're selling them as timing devices.
That's right.
For sobering up after a big night.
Correct.
Excellent. Love it. Now, I'm at the halfway mark. I don't mean to brag, but my burn...
ahead of me.
Yeah, my burn has been faultless. This is just magnificent. Couple of veins in it, but it hasn't affected the burn in any way. I can just kind of see the veins in the color of the ash, but just effortless, magnificent.
Good. Oh, that is a good combination. That chocolate with that, isn't it?
Full of flavor, doesn't demand anything from me.
Unlike Omar.
Well, look, I wasn't going to name names. That is how effortlessly a band should come off. I didn't even think about it at the time, but that just almost...
That's beautiful.
That just rolled off, didn't tear anything. The glue let go perfectly. That's what should happen every time.
Excellent. That's come off really well. It hasn't even ripped the wrapper itself, which is nice.
Nothing.
There you go. You could frame it.
Well, I'll tell you what, some people use them, like put them under glass on a tabletop, and this one looked great because it's got this sort of... what's that chromatic effect where it kind of splits the colors?
Yep.
There's a name for it. I can't think of it.
If we find some glue before we leave, we could cover up that hole.
Oh, and the felt.
Yeah,
no one would notice that.
Just glue that down.
No one would notice that the beautiful blue poker table felt has got now a brightly colored, reflective, chromatic wrapper. Super glue.
It would just look like somebody's left it behind.
Yeah. That'll go down well. Yeah. Just you know how there's this thing where people are trying to live for as long as possible. Like there's people that are sort of working on lifestyle and diet and all that sort of stuff. If you want to live for a long time, don't burn a hole in the felt of a poker table at an illegal casino. That's known to shorten your life expectancy. Yeah.
Oh, we've got Stephen's.
Stephen Crow's here.
Hey, Stephen, how are you? Yeah, it does actually have a little bit of. Yeah, you're right.
It does have a little bit of that.
I couldn't see it when I pointed it out to you, but now that he uses the word, suddenly you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Can't give you all the credit.
Like my kids. No, can't see it. Oh, hey, Dad, did you know? Yes, I was telling you.
Don't worry. Stu got me with that earlier today.
No.
Pointed something out and been in front of my face for who knows how long and hadn't seen it.
That's because his is so small.
Well, that's true. I had to get the magnifying glass out.
And then you burn it because the sun. It's just no fun.
Well, it was hard to see because I was in the shade.
He likes it outdoors. He likes it any way you can get it, to be honest. Now, last time I checked, this was a cigar show. Not sure what this show's been, but it's meant to be a cigar show. So tell me more. You're thinking Perdomo pack. You're thinking one of these ones from the same plantation as the ESVs came from, which sounds really...
Oh, no, that one will be later on when
That'll
it's released. The one I'm actually thinking of is... so one of the cigars that we've only done one of in the Perdomos has been the Lot 23s.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the other one that we've only done one of is the Bourbon Barrel Aged.
That's true.
Both of them we only did in Connecticut.
Yes.
So I'm actually thinking of revisiting the Connecticut of one of those two, and then doing the Sun-Grown and the Maduro as well.
Now, you know our inventory better than I do, but I think we don't have that Lot 23 from that same batch still in stock, do we? I think we...
not enough to do a pack.
Not enough to do a pack, yeah. That's a shame.
We've got a few left.
Yeah.
And we actually have a few faithful followers that do like to add one of those to their variety when they're stocking up when they buy a pack from us.
For a Connecticut, they would have aged really well.
Oh, phenomenally well.
Yeah.
Actually, truth be known, we've still got a few of the ESVs left too. Not many.
Well, don't tell anyone. They're mine now.
The ESVs and the...
the last thing you'd want...
Remember we did the Churchill-sized torpedoes?
Yeah.
Got a few of them.
The last thing you'd want to do is say that out loud in a room full of our subscribers because then they're going to buy all the good stuff. We have to do more quality control on that. See how it's aging.
Nah, it won't be too much aging.
Not anymore anyway. Is that the smoke ring I just blew?
Yeah.
There you go. That was my third.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't a circular one. It was sort of a wonky one, but there you go. My third smoke ring.
It's like when your 6-year-old comes up to you and is like, is this whistling? That's Damo trying to blow a smoke ring. It's just like
I wasn't trying to blow a smoke ring.
Yeah, mate.
Happened.
That's a smoke ring. Oh, yep. You can have that one. That's a yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got Daniel giving us tutorials over there by the looks of it.
That's why he's not invited on the show. That's why the camera's pointing this way, not that way.
That way.
Actually, that would be really good. This is if we could get Aaron on the show and pit Daniel against Aaron and see who could blow the most rings.
Are you just trying to make me look bad? Is that what this is really all about?
No, just trying to make Daniel look bad.
Well, I mean, okay, Aaron would put Daniel to shame. That's true. But have you seen how badly Daniel puts me to shame? There's a reason I didn't invite him back. He came on the show and I was like, never again. Never again is now. Daniel's not coming on the show.
Well, next time you do a no show, then I can just get them on the show and then.
Well, blackmailing me to make sure I come on the show now, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. You got me. All right, fine.
Where's the cigar at, boys?
Getting bolder. I just reached for the drink because I felt like I needed to sort of change the flavor profile a little bit. Definitely stepping up a notch. I think the coffee and actually probably more dark chocolate is starting to come through for me now.
It's also a little bit nutty chocolate as well. Just
yeah. We've gone from the meatballs to the nuts.
Progress.
Depends on what you like.
Yeah, definitely getting older. Definitely older.
It's picked up, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely much. A lot of cedar, leather.
This is much closer to what I expect from a Maduro, but funnily enough, a lot of that sweetness is gone. If you take that sweetness from really early on and add it into this boldness now, and that's what I would expect in a Maduro. This is beautiful. It sounds like I'm criticizing it. I'm not. This is beautiful. But it's just been a really interesting journey on this one.
I think the other interesting thing is that it's got a Mexican filler in there as well.
Okay.
Which you don't normally think of in this combination of tobaccos. Now, nobody knows for certain because Padron are very secretive of what's in it.
But of course.
I am getting a little bit of a reminiscent flashback to what was that Maduro Padron? Did we have that in the pack?
So we had the
little one. We had the.
Was it like the 2000? Did we have that in a Maduro?
Didn't we have something 64, 1964?
Yeah. Was that a Maduro one?
Gosh, you're testing my memory now.
Natural.
That was a natural.
Yeah.
Natural.
I've always suspected that Padron has got Mexican tobacco in it.
Yeah, they don't
say
that.
I'm just getting sort of those bit of those Padron vibes in there as well.
Pretty sure these days all the Cubans have Mexican tobacco in them too.
And Honduran and
Honduran, everywhere else. No, you're actually, your Padron reference is actually spot on. Now that you say it, this where it's come now with a bit more boldness has come into a Padron profile. Yeah. No, you're. I had to admit it, but you're right. I told you how I first came across Padron. Went to a conference in West Australia, discovered that they could actually display their cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Walked into just a corner, shop looking for a cigar, thinking it'd be the usual thing of a tiny little corner of one little cabinet or something. And there's this whole wall. And they had the Padrons, and I think it was a 2000 that I had. I don't remember for sure, but I just felt drawn to the Padrons. Grabbed some, grabbed a bottle of Monkey Shoulder, which I'd never had before. So I've got a cigar I'd never had and a whiskey I'd never had. Look at that.
Just fell off.
Yeah. And had an absolutely fantastic night. And I've been sold on the Padrons ever since.
Yep.
Just such a good stick. But they don't have a lot of profile in Australia. Amongst cigar smokers, they do, of course.
Yep.
But amongst the public, sort of, it's kind of this semi-unknown stick.
Yeah, I think it's the price thing as well about Padrones. It's a little to do with the price.
But then again, something like Davidoff is quite expensive, but has much more profile amongst the public.
That's right. I think
it's because
Davidoff any day over a Padron.
See, some of our subscribers are quite well traveled, and often will pick up a box of something while they're traveling. To enjoy while they're traveling. And more often than not, they tell me there are Cubans there, but they're consistently giving up on buying Cubans because consistently you're having 20, 30% failure rate.
Yeah, the failure rate's gotten worse.
But every tax-free, duty-free shop in airports has nearly always got a Davidoff selection there.
Yep. And they've got a distinct flavor profile, which you either like or you don't, but you cannot fault the build quality.
Look, I reckon the Davidoffs are a pretty good all-rounder. I think they target as being a cigar that suits just about everybody. Not totally everybody, but just about everybody.
Yeah.
Just about. Oh, I can almost argue they probably have cigar for everyone, starting from the signature to upwards. Some of the most.
Okay.
Well, I think the whole perception. Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I think most of that what we do in life in the last 60, 70 years is based on a perception. Based on marketing perception, right? And it has very little or nothing often to do with what you are describing or getting, right? Mostly it's a perception. And from that aspect, Davidoff being the original Cuban, leaving Cuba, starting their own thing, I think just that story alone and their meticulousness and what to do and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Patron try to copy that. I would say they didn't almost copy it. You know, Sonny's an MBA and he come from the same school of thought that how you market things. So they didn't quite get to that. Davidoff being off Geneva, from Cuba, originally came out. It just created, I think, a bit more stronger hype, I think.
I will say on those occasions so there have been 2 occasions that I can think of where I've been out with a friend who doesn't smoke a lot of cigars, but they're up to smoking some cigars. We've got to go somewhere and find some. I will reach for Davidoffs under those circumstances because I know that they're going to be approachable. I know that they're going to be well built. He's not going to have any trouble with them. You know what you're getting. As Stephen Crow says here, Davidoff set a great standard for quality of build. Absolutely.
Exactly. And 100%. What Stephen has said, it's just spot on. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And you can hide from it.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you know what I'm thinking is this would actually be a really, really good Maduro for someone to have their first Maduro.
Yeah.
This is a very approachable Maduro.
Maduro,
if you've not had a Maduro before, or you've got someone who wants to try Maduro, I reckon this would definitely be the one to go for.
Yeah. You know what it strikes me is I think Tim has spelled Professor Damo wrong.
Well, look, there's a lot of user error going on in the background over here. They're showing us their cigars and the user error problems they're having.
That's absolute clown show over there in the peanut gallery. Cigar Man Sam, I'm with you 100%. Padron over Davidoff any day of the week.
Yep.
For me, 100%.
Well, big call.
Well, look, I think Cigar Man Sam might be speaking from bias there because I've heard rumor that the number of boxes of Padron that he has in his possession is second to none to anyone else in the country. So
I have to come by and hang out a little bit, Cigar Man Sam.
Yeah, he wants to be part of the competition too. He sounds very confident. Ring competition, that is.
Yeah, ring competition. Yeah. So, Damo, back when you were young and fun and interesting, I
can't remember that far back.
You used to find different ways of lighting cigars.
Yes.
And you would be adventurous. And then I guess the relationship just kind of got a bit stale and just sort of a bit
so remember I was talking about that plasma candle? I got it.
Oh, okay.
It works.
Okay.
But I found one major problem. It runs off a Tesla coil to run it. So it's got it sort of sits on top of a Tesla coil.
Yeah.
Electronic devices are not very happy around Tesla coils.
So if you tried to broadcast yourself lighting up with that, the broadcast would fail.
Well, I think my laptop might permanently fail.
Oh.
So.
Oh. Well, that's not great.
So I got it up. I got it set. I got it tried, but just running it in the house, television signals, Wi-Fi signals, everything just gone.
Excellent. So if you feel like if you're worried about being surveilled,
you just turn it on.
Just run one of those in your house.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up though is because I got a bit of a bone to pick with you. because I'm led to believe that in your other life, when you're not gallivanting around the globe, hanging out with Nick Perdomo, you have actually been helping to dispose of some very volatile, explosive devices. And you have not brought any of them, or even so much as showed me a photograph of you lighting a cigar off a failed Takata airbag.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I think the amount of energy in that has got to be able to be harnessed somehow. The friction.
Look, have you ever watched the Looney Tunes? And they light the cigar.
Yeah.
And then it goes bang,
bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of all in one. It just all happens in one.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you would light the cigar and inhale the cigar in the same exact moment.
So
I'll set one up for Omar next show.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at?
How far are you today?
I'm miles ahead of both of you.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you miles ahead for sure.
Too much.
Well, it's I tend to need more nicotine when I'm trying to cope with stressful circumstances, and I'm sitting here next to Damo, so say no more.
I must admit, another hole in the.
He can only kill me once. It's at this point, does it matter?
Well, if I put my ash in your pile, does it count as mine or yours?
And we have an ashtray right here for the purpose of catching our ash, and yet we both have Mount Vesuvius in front of us. Just this ash pile.
And interesting to note that none of the ash in that ashtray is actually from these cigars.
Hey, one of mine hit the edge. Okay, I get a partial credit. One of mine hit the edge over here. There you go. The rest of it, it's on the table. Do you think if we just sort of walk out and don't say anything, that we'll be right?
Just pack up quietly.
I'll leave before you. Well, you know about that, where there were two explorers were going to go into deepest, darkest Africa to try and unlock this uncharted part of Africa. And they got there, and they were just sort of doing their final preps before they leave the last little bit of civilization and head into uncharted jungle. One of them looks across at the other, and he's putting on running shoes. He says, mate, what are you putting on running shoes? We're going hiking through marshes and bogs and who knows what. You need a good, sturdy pair of hiking boots. Why are you putting on running shoes? He said, well, for the lions, of course. He says, you idiot, you can't outrun lions. No, even if you're wearing running shoes, you can't outrun lions. He says, I don't have to outrun the lions. I just got to outrun you.
It's true. It is true.
That's fine.
That would have been a great moment to blow a ring. Nice little silence. Everyone's paying attention.
Could I do it? The ones Daniel's blowing over there.
Could I do it? No. Could I blow a ring on demand? No.
No.
They don't pay me enough. A little bit. This is getting actually quite hot. I'm definitely over smoking it. I'm enjoying it a little too much. But now it is actually getting just heat hot on the tongue. Although
it is a nice soft leather though.
Soft leather. A little bit of white pepper coming in. I'm down into the final third, almost into the nub stage, and a little bit of white pepper coming in.
Probably time to ask David how's he going with the nicotine or what he.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
That's a good question. Yeah.
I'm gonna. There we go.
Hey, there's some ash in the ashtray.
Yeah. There'll be a reason to empty it at the end of the night.
That's right. Tell you what, the aroma in the room is lovely. We've got 6 of these being smoked. Beautiful atmosphere in the room.
It absolutely is.
If one of you passes wind, I'm going to be really pissed. Don't you ruin this. Damn. Is this... I'm going to say this is in my top 10 all-time Cigar Professor cigars. I don't think I'm willing to put it in the top 3, but it's in the top 10.
So for the challenge with that is that I've been contemplating. I think the memory and the taste buds are very relative, right?
Sure.
And that's the biggest challenge when we put, like, after you smoke thousands of cigars, you go, oh, I'm gonna thinking of putting this up there. I remember we did that with AJ Fernandez stick. I think I remember having this show. I'm like, I'm sitting down. I haven't forgotten. It was Divino or one of those. That
yes, Divino.
And I'm sitting down and I'm like, this probably is the most flavorsome cigar I've ever had, right? And because we went on for the whole show talking about that cigar, we would not just stop talking about it, right? And then I went back. I'm like, I've said that about like 5,000 different cigars, the exact same thing, right? I'm not doubting. Look, this cigar has to be up there. For a Maduro, which is so approachable, it's absolutely smooth, it's flavorsome, it's complex. And Topher said you don't need an effort to smoke it. You just go on with it, and you can pass it on for someone on you. So yeah, like it's hard to know. Say it can't be. It has to be somewhere up there.
Yeah,
it has to be. Yeah, it can't just. This is absolutely beautiful cigar.
Yeah, this is definitely, Mr. Hughes got it right. This is in my top 5,000 cigars out of the 2,500 that I've ever smoked.
Yeah, Roger, I'm onto it. I'm vibing it, man.
No, but
look, we just got to admit that Omar does love all cigars, any shape, any size.
Love is love.
Any age.
Yeah.
He likes them young. He likes them old.
Yeah. Any way you can get them.
That's right.
2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, done that as well. Well, we're sitting down with a bunch of people. Huh?
You go.
You got a bunch of people sitting down. We have this Thursday night cigar dates. And a bunch of boys were sitting down. I said, someone say, this cigar is not perfect. I said, don't worry about it. It doesn't look good. Just leave it. And next minute, I'm smoking that first before I finish my cigar.
You can't help yourself.
Yeah.
I will defend my honor, though, Omar, and say I haven't put a cigar in my top 10 in quite some time on the show.
Yes.
It's been a little while.
No, you haven't.
And this is making a very, very good impression. Now, I'm smoking a lot less these days than I have previously, but even allowing for the, that sort of the renewed newness, because I'm not smoking as much, even allowing for that, this is an outstanding stick.
It absolutely is. You can't think of it. It's an absolute, crack off a stick. Yeah. So well rounded. It's so well rounded.
The ESVs obviously are up there. The Oliva V Milanios are up there,
especially the Lancero.
The Lancero,
and that is
also
just...
what's that smaller box pressed vitola they've got?
Oh, the number 4.
The number 4. Yeah. That's for me. The Lancero and the number 4 in the Oliva V. Just Milano, outstanding.
I think the Lancero is light years ahead of the rest of the range. I think the sweetness, the complexity, and the boldness of the cinnamon notes in that Lancero is just outstanding.
Yeah,
see,
it is.
This is the problem with the Cigar Professor, though, because that was the 3rd cigar we ever smoked in the Cigar Professor. We opened with an Ave Maria. Then we had the Room 101 in the Lonsdale.
Yep.
Then we had the Oliva V. Actually, well, hang on. Was it the Milanio, or was it just the Oliva V?
I think it wasn't a Milanio. It wasn't a Milanio.
I think you're right. There you go. All right, we're saved. Because I was going to say, where do you go from there? That's been the problem the whole way. Where you set the benchmark too high.
It wasn't a Milanio.
I think you're absolutely right. Because we had the number 4 as a Milanio. That was the first Milanio.
As a Milanio, yes.
A couple of packs later. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that was the Oliva V Lancero.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I specifically remember that being not a Milanio for sure.
Right. Yeah.
And
the very first cigar we had was the Ave Maria Immaculata.
Yeah.
Immaculata. The thing is, speaking of Immaculata, the cigar we probably have the most of Cigar Professor is the White Series. And that's a heck of a smoke as well. That's one heck of a smoke as well.
Yeah. So David
couldn't agree more. I would say that The word that I'm coming up with consistently, it's well-rounded. It got bit of everything to enjoy. It's well-rounded.
Yeah. Find something to complain about.
That's right. That's right.
The company.
Except the name was Bourbon.
All right. I set that up. Yeah, the nub 454, the 354, I think is the Connecticut 354.
358.
358. Thank you. Yeah. Now that's a fabulous stick.
Actually, that's one thing we haven't tried in the nub series yet. They do like a little torpedo version of the nubs.
Yeah.
Here I was thinking you'd tried every nub known to man.
Well, I have tried them. We haven't done them in the pack.
Yeah. T464.
464.
Yeah, 464.
See, I like the cigar brands where the numbers mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the nubs, 464, 4 inches long, 64 ring gauge, easy.
Gotcha.
You can picture in your head exactly what this thing is going to be roughly, right?
Yeah.
Then you get like a Padron 1964, and it's like it doesn't tell me anything about the cigar.
No, that's just a commemorative year for that company.
Yeah, that's the branding. It's like an Ave Maria Immaculata. It doesn't tell you anything about what the cigar is.
Yeah.
Although I thought the Divinia was quite a good branding exercise. It was a divine cigar.
That's true. You know what I would love for us to figure out how we could budget in, and I don't know if this is even possible. You allowed me to dip into your private stash some time ago when I wanted 3 special cigars because I was going to give one to what's his name? British politician known for Brexit. Nigel. I was going to give one to Nigel when I saw him at a conference. And you allowed me to buy off you 3 of the Angel Share. What were they?
Opus X.
Fuente, Opus X, Angel Share.
And I've been trying to buy some replacements of those, and I still haven't been able to get any.
Well, I tell you, I gave him one. I didn't get to smoke it with him, but I gave him one, and I had the other 2.
Oh yeah.
And were they any good?
Oh yeah. You missed out. You missed out.
Maybe we need to start doing $500 3 cigar packs. Although I've had quite a few of the Opus X Lost Cities, and I quite enjoy them.
They are a good stick. I reckon with inflation the way it's going, it won't be long before we're doing $1 million packs, and they'll all be little puritos.
We'll start doing. We'll start having to do bullion trading.
Yeah. No, you can't buy.
People can't transfer enough bloody money. Right. You exceed your daily transfer limit.
What? Fiat currency? No, thank you. We only sell for bullion.
After dropping the ash, there was like a momentary sort of half a minute or something where it's trying to come back to its, its bold, beautiful self. And it's just as good it was. It is just absolutely perfect.
It just carries on. It just carries on.
Yeah. Oh, mate, Leaf by Oscar. How could you forget those?
Sumatra. Yeah.
They were good sticks. They were good sticks. Oh, what about the Sumatra? Not the Sumatra, the Corojo. The Corojo was also another good one as well.
Yeah,
the whole series.
The whole crew. I prefer the Cameroon, but I'll tell you what. I've mentioned this before. Had a chat with someone who has the biggest distributorship in Atlanta, which is the Southern States, the biggest distributorship for cigars. Speaking to the owner, and we were specifically talking about the most underrated cigar in America is Leaf by Oscar. It is by far the most underrated for price, value, quality, everything.
And that's another really great brand in terms of their presentation is so unique. Yeah. All completely wrapped in a tobacco leaf. The band itself made out of tobacco stem, etc. That kind of made it almost a type of paper or parchment out of it and printed onto that. I love seeing cigar brands that are looking for ways to differentiate, and I reckon he got it right. He absolutely got it right.
Yeah. So when we did those, they had it in a Lancero and a Robusto size. We did the Lanceros, but they've since released the same range in a Toro size as well.
Oh, okay.
I think what Damo is forgetting that he got me about 6 boxes when I was in the States, and they were Gordo. They are, what a stick that is, names. What a stick.
Well, 6 boxes of Gordos, that would have lasted you what? The flight home?
Nah, come on. It was good. It was good. It was good.
He was telling me that he smoked them mostly in his uncle's car and managed to void the trade-in of his uncle's car because the air filter and all the inside of the car was stained brown.
The Tundra.
See, I reckon though it should be mandatory. If you own a Bentley, that thing better smell like cigars when you go to sell it on the secondhand market. Like I think it just should be one of the rules.
Absolutely.
There you go. You just got to convince your uncle to trade in. What did he have? What was his pickup? Tundra. Yeah, trade in the Tundra and get a Bentley.
Oh,
mind
man.
you, I don't know what the tariffs on that would be at the moment.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Just imagine that. Hey, just imagine that.
Well, David Lionhelm, I got to warn you. I reckon there is a little bit of nicotine at the end of this. Not much, but it's there.
It's. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's for a Maduro. You can't go smoother than that.
Hey, I'm a man. I've smoked this down much closer to the nub than you. You're slacking off too much. You catch up with me and then tell me there's no nicotine.
Oh well, okay. Go knock yourself out.
Oh, the ring.
That's
got a few.
I had a few here. Beautiful. All right. Do we have any more of these?
A few.
We got a few. All right. Send a message to the Cigar Professor page and get in quick.
Having to touch it up a few times.
Yeah, you've had a couple of burn issues. And
it has been a snug draw for me.
If you were on the other end of the screen, I'd accuse it of being user error, but you're right next to me with a very hot cigar lighter, so I'm just going to say it was a construction problem.
Thank you.
It usually is, right?
You just don't see my other leg kicking him under the table at the moment, Omar.
Is that your leg? That's disappointing. I thought you were excited. Daniel, don't be a dibber dobber.
Yeah.
Just like
that's a bit early. That's a bit early, man.
Yeah.
That's a little early, man.
You can't hold against someone enjoying a cigar.
What happens inside the illegal casino stays in the illegal casino. You should know this.
With all due respect to ABC, the LGBT, man, you keep it out of cigar smokers, man.
Did you understand a word he just said?
No.
I did not get that at all.
Well, I'm trying to be kind to him instead of going straight up LGBTQ+.
Okay. Okay.
I actually, just to segue out of that.
Yeah, please.
I saw an interesting post on Facebook in the Australian Cigar Lovers group today. A guy went on ChatGPT and asked for a food and drink pairing for a particular cigar he was looking at. And ChatGPT has now got enough data that it can access that it actually created a recommended food and drink pairing for each of the thirds of the cigar that he was smoking. And it actually gave the rationale behind it because of the flavor profiles in each third taken from various reviews and then matched it up with alcohol beverages, non-alcoholic beverages and foods that would match each of those flavor notes.
I don't know if that excites me or terrifies me.
Oh, anyway, I just thought it was an interesting bit of information.
I mean, when ChatGPT can smoke a cigar better than humans can, I think we've gone too far.
Yes, this is probably true.
I gone too far.
That's fair, Daniel. That's fair.
He's still having trouble with it, though.
Yeah.
He'll learn numbers. This is why he can never tell us how many cigars he smoked. He hasn't actually learned to count yet.
Nah.
Tell you what, if we put ChatGPT in place of you and Grok in place of me, I reckon no one would be able to tell.
This is true.
Yeah. You bring the actual information about cigars. I'll bring the right wing extremism, and no one will know the difference.
What do we do for our diversity hire?
Grinder.
You've been on it, right?
Only keeping an eye on you.
Good stick, but I'm going to have to put this down soon.
He's getting to that point.
Sort of, it is going to turn, and I don't want to smoke it to the point that it does because I've enjoyed it too much.
Yep, I get that.
One more, and then I'm out.
How about you, Omar? Where are you at?
Before I do that, I got to show you a text message from my wife. She's asking me, when are you coming? She says, when are you coming?
Oh, no.
She doesn't know where I am.
So let's get some clarification. Where did you leave her?
Oh, it's just it's all on recording. I can't say it. He's not in Sydney.
Well, look, you're in luck, Omar. No one watches the Cigar Professor anyway, so it's not like anyone's going to find out.
So when was checkout? This morning. She's been waiting in the lobby.
No, we're supposedly staying overnight, but I don't know, dude. We got a whole lot of family and friends there, but still, this is being MIA is not the best thing.
Well, at least she won't catch you out for smelling like cigars because you always smell like cigars.
This is true. That's a good cover, Omar. That's a good cover. I like it.
I'll tell you what's really kind of disturbing. My 12-year-old sits with me when 8 of us having cigars. He asked me every time, can I please try it? I said, no, you cannot try it. He's asked me for the past 3 years. They love to smell. My kids love to smell. Fuck, this is going to be a disaster, man. This is going to be a disaster.
Well, you might have raised kids more sophisticated than you.
Yeah.
What's the smoking age back in the home country, Omar?
There's no smoking age anywhere. I mean,
you just got to just take them home and visit the Rellos.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure about that. Not sure about that.
That's what we would have. We'd have OnlyFans. You're ChatGPT. I'm Grok. He's OnlyFans. We're good.
Yeah.
We could produce like 10 episodes a day just through AI.
Problems.
We could monetize the channel then.
Yep, absolutely.
No problems. No problem. I think Tim the boy is a little jealous, man. They're a bit jelly. The boys getting.
Well, they're a bit upset with us.
But all you need to do is search on for cowboy DEI.
Yeah. And cigars.
Bearded cowboy DEI.
I'm officially renaming our peanut gallery into the giggle gallery.
Okay.
Because they're all trying to not make noise.
Yeah.
And they're giggling like little schoolgirls over there.
Yep.
I choose to believe that it's at our jokes, not at each other's jokes between themselves. It's because we're funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, we're the entertainment.
That's right.
That's right. Exactly right.
Where are you at, Omar? You said you'll get to it. Mine's just starting to get to the hot point.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of heat comes through towards the end. For a Maduro, that is the vitola that it is. It holds up really well. But
really well.
It does have a turn. It does have a turn on it right at the end.
I'm just trying to get that pepper in now.
Okay.
Dame, I wonder this cigar in a Lancero.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. This stick in a Lancero.
Yeah, Lancero Lonsdale. Yeah.
Well, hang on, what size do they say?
Professor Damo's on it. He's on it already.
Hang on, let's see what sort of... It's in a Gordo, a Toro, or a Robusto. They're the only 3 vitolas they make.
My wallet just breathed a sigh of relief. It saw that tax bill coming and went, oh, thank God.
Oh, heaven help us if Green's Labour get in and try and pin us on unrealised capital gains.
Oh, goodness. On what? On
the cigars.
On how much the value of the cigars are going up. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll just have to make the profits go up in smoke, I guess.
That's right.
What a shame.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Could have sold it all and bought a yacht, but I smoked it instead. You know.
Yeah.
Can you have boating accidents with cigars?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. They fell off a boat. Yeah.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
We get a $50 yacht. Just a few $100,000 worth of cigars.
Yep.
Insure it for $250,000.
Yeah.
Let it sink.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Can't be too bad.
They might ask how we spent $250,000 on a tinny.
With a sail. It's a yacht.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'll just hold my handkerchief up. Just, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe we could. They're incense sticks.
Aromatherapy.
That's right. We just need to invent a little holder that keeps them smoking and smouldering.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. What is this? It's a little holder where they smoke and smolder.
Well, this is true.
I just rhymed. Did you get that? I did a
Mhm.
rhyme. I did a thing.
Mm.
16 seasons in, and I finally did a thing.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You proud of yourself?
I am. Yeah.
Well done.
Hmm.
You're bound to get it right at some point.
Some point. That's a key word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think mine's just about to turn on me. I'm just getting that.
Well, Professor Damo, you've excelled yourself once again. You know, you keep raising the bar, and then you have to keep jumping over that bar that you've raised every single damn time.
I like the challenge.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I'm not up for the challenge. You've set too high a bar for me.
Yeah.
Well, we've now officially christened Albury's newest cigar lounge.
We have.
That's good. Good temperature.
Yep.
Good place. Look around.
Yep.
Couple of funny signs. Couple of serious signs.
Big screen telly so you can watch us.
Big screen telly so we can see ourselves.
Yep.
And then inside that telly, there's another telly
Yes.
where we can see ourselves. And then inside that telly, you know what there is?
Yep.
There's another telly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the delay keeps...
Should I keep going?
Well, actually, that delay perpetuates. So one of them would actually just be the start of the show.
The start of the show right now is like one pixel in there somewhere. The show is just beginning.
That's it.
Dear. Well, look, Omar, we'd better let you get back to what you got to do tonight. Make your decisions, and
I need to make some calls, I think.
But your run remains unbroken. That is very impressive, my friend. Very impressive.
You got to do your best for all these cigars.
Right. For
all these cigars, Dema.
I'd say what would we do without you, but we've already figured that out. It's Grinder.
Yeah.
Nah, OnlyFans, remember?
Okay, fine. All right. I'll settle for that. OnlyFans. There's more variety there anyway.
Yeah. More controlled environment.
More money in it too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you think I'm, actually, no, I won't finish that sentence.
Topher.
All right. So you're going to have a full rundown for us about what's in the next pack next month?
Absolutely.
All right. Fantastic. Well, guys, this has been week 2 of pack 16, can you believe, of the Cigar Professor. I was about to say we are the Cigar Professors, but let's be honest. Omar, you and I, we got to be honest. He's the Cigar Professor.
Yes, indeed.
Omar and I are just fans of his, basically.
You make me look good.
Well, I make you sound intelligent as well.
That's right.
But you're the man with the cigars. So we thank you very much for your work. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's stick. You'll join us again next month for month 3 of pack 16, where we'll hear all about pack 17.
And next month we'll be back to our usual last Wednesday of the month.
That's it.
I've been corrected. Apparently we're in pack 18 now. There you go. I've been saying 16 the whole way through. It's pack 18.
Pack 18.
There you go.
I didn't want to make you look bad on television.
I just got corrected by him. Now I know why. And now I know why people kept posting the number 18 earlier in the comments.
Yep.
It's because they were trying to correct me.
Mm.
Yeah. But do you think I was clever enough to pick up on that? I thought they were just reminding me what the legal age was and telling me to stop hitting on you. That's what I thought was going on. But apparently it was about which pack we're in. Alrighty, guys, it's been fun. We're going to get out of here. Have a great night.
See you later.
Thank you. See you later.